welcome back to this year of the campaign. We have defeated the giant robot and the slimy Zodor in town, leaving him locked up to the sheriff, or to sheriff, I should say, and have had encounter with Dr. Artuno, an elven man that you met uh, with his what seems like assistant or partner, um, Shapiro. You learned his name was telling you of a mission down to Ken Run, an old war camp or war city that had been ravaged by the last war and has now had a lot of conflict there between two nations. The southern nation of Dargoon, with orcs and trolls and such like that, fighting against the soldiers of Brayland, as it is a pass between two of the mountains. It's almost like a control point. So there's constant conflict going on there. You had a week to gather yourselves and get anything you needed from Vathron before hopping onto the lightning rail. Some first time experience, some you've experienced it before, and even if you haven't experienced it before, you got treated to first class, which is extremely fancy for some of the likes of you. The tiles on the bottom of the train are you could see your reflection in it. There are auto gnomes that fly along these rails and provide you with whatever drinks you like, whether it be bourbon or milk or whatever suits you best. As you head along to Staraluska, the journey will take about a full day as you leave in the morning and you watch the countryside fly past you. The area that you're in the morning is very much quite rocky, quite dusty, sand, and not a lot of scenery. Where we're going to pick up is with Ghost.
Oh, fuck me.
You don't find yourself on the train. You find yourself in what you remember as a trench. And I would like you to describe for me the three companions that are around you inside this muddy trench.
Oh boy. Help me out here, Reese. Wait, have I missed a
No,
cue
no,
here?
no. As you look across, you see your similar age to you from your hometown. Who do we see?
Oh man, similar age to me.
Just throw something out there.
I'm missing the memo. I'm making people up?
Yep.
Or are these people I know? All right, gotcha. Um, three people across from me. One is a um, fair-skinned, red-haired elf, scraggly cut, with an odd amount of facial hair for someone of elven blood. Scar running across one ear.
She looks up at you as she's kind of bandaging up the scar. It's kind of started to split after you've made this massive run to the trench. You remember now you've crossed a lot of the no man's land to get here. And she looks up at you and says, well, we made it this far. It's only a little bit further to go. As she takes a swig out of her canteen. The second person.
Um, slightly older, long, dark black hair, eyes that almost turn black themselves, just pupils encompassing the eye, wearing more slender robes, lightly armored, um, short, stout, twisted wand in one hand.
You see him pull out some, like a pouch of stuff, and he looks over to you and he goes, "Oh, you don't want to be knowing what this stuff does." As he rubs it up his arm, and you see the arcane energy start to crack around it, as you know that this isn't the final trench of the run, and there's one more to get to.
Jesus.
Third person.
Very stoic, stout, heavily armored human covered in impact marks and pots and a big dent through one side of the armor, heavy shield, stocky individual.
He is leaning up against the side of the trench and kind of looking back at the other three of you. Doesn't say anything, but gives a nod of approval of you make the call when we're going to do the run. Is there anything you want to do before you jump over?
Jesus. Probably reach to my pockets and see if I can find that little mechanical spider. It should be sitting tucked in a pouch behind my belt.
It's there.
Deep breath. Close my eyes. Grip onto the dagger I'm holding. Get ready to run.
You look at your companions that you've come this far with, and you know them. These have been with you through thick and thin, and you almost feel your heart start lurching up into your throat as you make this final dash. And you give a nod to them, and they give a nod back. Arcane energy wrapping around all of you now as you launch yourselves over the side of this trench and just start running. You're out of breath pretty much straight away. You can feel the mud slapping up on your legs, and you brace for fire, for arrows, but nothing comes. And you kind of slow your pace a little bit, and you look around you and you see barren wastelands. You see a war-torn country out on the side, but there's no one else here except for you four. As you yourself, you slow down, you kind of look around and you see the sun in the sky is blaring hot. It's almost a piercing light. You look around and you're suddenly by yourself.
Guys,
No response.
what the hell is going on?
No response. You feel a little bit of wind.
Spin towards it.
Just see barren wastelands. You don't even see the trench behind you anymore. It's countryside forever and ever. To the horizon.
I continue to run in a direction.
You
One that I
try to lift your foot, and you look down and see the mud is slowly creeping its way up your ankles.
Anyone? Hello?
You start to yell, and thunderclouds start rolling in from the horizon. And when they cross over the sun, it almost goes pitch black before a lightning strike goes. And you wake up, knocking your head against the side of the window in the lightning rail as rain is hitting the windows. You see the rest of your companions in the same carriage as you. Everyone else you see goes wake up and hit his head on the side of the window. It is now raining outside and the sun has set, so dusk has passed and it is dark outside. You can see the window dripping with raindrops and a couple of lightning flashes in the distance, but there still probably is another 10, 20 minutes of your journey.
You all right, Ghost?
I am. Oh, sorry. Sorry, it's
It's okay. It's been a pretty stressful couple of days.
I just I don't startle myself awake like that too often. Where's oh, okay. Slide the briefcase underneath me. So we'll pet it. Envy's probably in travel mode.
Yeah, so for Envy, for Obuck, and for Swift Scale, they are not in first class, unfortunately. They are kind of in the back carriages with the cargo and stuff like that. They Dr. Artuna made sure that there was a carriage specifically for them. So there's some hay and some maybe some meat and stuff like that in there as well. But you know that they're safe in their own carriage at the back of the train.
Is there ways back to them, or is it kind of like it's not like pass through carriage?
Yeah, you probably could end up back in second class and stuff, but not into the cargo trains.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Puck has definitely like climbed out to go see them though.
Outside of the train.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does travel very fast. We're traveling about 6 days worth of travel in a day. But as you kind of like, I'd say it's probably more feasible earlier on in the trip. When it started to rain, it's probably, you could judge that it might be a bit unsafe to go and visit these carriages. But a couple of visits to Swiftgale is appreciated as he kind of, you see Obuck as well, which is, you can assure Vargeir.
Yep. I've used my grappling hook to like hook it to the roof, and then I can like go out and go behind as the wind whips it behind me and like lower my tie myself on and move back and then come back and release it. Every time I come back, like my hair is just like pulled all the way behind me. Eyes are watering from all the wind, but yeah, go see them a couple times.
You know, this is my first time on the rail.
Really?
Yeah.
I said anyone in the room.
Same here.
It always meant to be this.
Quick.
DM, is it smooth or shaky?
It is actually quite smooth. I mean, you knocking your head across the thing was obviously not very comfortable, but after you kind of imagine it should be shaky, it's almost a weird sensation that it is so smooth. You see outside, it's dark now, but you see things flying past you, and it's unnaturally smooth.
How incredible our technology's come this far. Oh, look, you understand these things better than most.
Excuse me, what?
You came from the university. I imagine they have departments, divisions who create this type of technology.
Yes, not my department. The most I know about the rail is that if you hit it, you go zap. And I just point at here.
Right,
I can confirm.
on a train carriage.
Like apart from that, like they have good drinks, but no, I don't know how it works. I don't even know how the little gnomes work.
That's a fair point. Curious creations. Anyway,
Remind me of yours.
Many a strange creation in the big cities.
That's true.
As you say that, one of the gnomes will swing past your kind of cabin and go, "Warning, we are approaching Star Alaska. We should be arriving in 5 minutes. Please make yourself comfortable and be ready to depart the train." Swims off.
yeah. Seem a little more programmed than my creation.
True. I don't know what this one thinks.
I don't think they're meant to think.
I don't know. Does fuck? What's his name again? What's your dog's name?
Envy.
Envy. Does Envy think, or is he like an extension of you?
It's more of an extension. It's not like it has emotions. I mean, that would be on par with the Awoken. Far beyond my mean creation. But, has the freedom to make their own decisions.
Understood.
Bug is gonna just stand up and go for a piss in the lavatory.
Sure. It is nicer than anything you've ever been to. Closes the door behind you. It's its own
Takes a
little
couple
room.
tries to close the door.
Okay.
Is it like one of those plane ones that I imagine?
I have to like turn around after closing the door.
Yeah.
Full to,
No, not at all. Not in first class. In first class, you've got about a maybe a 1.5 times bathrooms that you would normally go to. There's a sink there. There's a mirror. Yeah, it's very flash.
I'm gonna try in fear, like I'm gonna go for a whiz, but then in fear of like obviously I'm aware we're going to like a big city. I'm gonna try my best to like kind of like clean any like debris out of his dreads and his beard, and he's like brushing his teeth or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
He's just trying to make himself look presentable.
Yeah.
As much as he can.
Give me a
Maybe
performance
if there's
roll.
like some spray cologne there, he's like it sprays it like right in his face, in his mouth.
Yeah.
Use the hand soap
he's like,
under your armpits.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Little
a
bar.
final
Like
tidy up, a real final tidy up. Give me a performance roll.
Oh,
Yes.
God, here we go.
Is that first roll?
Just 6.
Pretty much as you described, you find this real fancy, like it's in a almost glowing blue bottle of a man doing the Olympus pose, and you're like, oh, cool, and you just take the top off and swig down the cologne.
Yeah, great. It like smells nice. Must make my breath nice.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's some really strong. That's real strong.
Yeah.
And you do enough to brush yourself and stuff like that, but
Yeah. Gotten that one piece of steak out the tooth that's been there for like a week.
for sure. But it does dawn on you as well. Like you are getting a little bit nervous of going to this. What you would refer to as a walled city. And it's definitely been playing on your mind on the week leading up to it. And yes, it is dark and it is raining, but this is a place that doesn't normally, even though they might be multicultural, they don't normally accept what people might refer as more bestial types, such as yourself. But you kind of brush off the rest of that weird drink you just had and make your way back to the cabin. And
I'll
as
just
you
come in and I like sit down and twiddle my thumbs nervously or like start picking my nails.
Sure. As you do, whoever's looking out the window at this point, you start to see you guys approaching Staraluska. And for whether it was named before or after the city was completed, you can see that it keeps up to its namesake. You see these big, almost lighthouse towers on the outskirts. You're already seeing a couple of like farmhouses and stuff, their lights popping up in the fields. But what dawns over these is these towers that when the storms hit, the lightning seems to hit these towers. And as they do, you see lightning coils flick down into the ground and almost send energy into the city. And as they do, you see this big, giant stone wall approaching with a gate that the train is going to, like, you know when a train kind of starts to turn and you can see the front of it moving as you're sitting back in the carriage, and you see it entering this big stone gateway. And once it's slowed down at this point, but once you come through, you see the city lights dot through the city. And now it's not a grid, and it's not sparse as Vathrond was. This is a place for people. You see rows and rows of houses. You see streets lined with signs, and there's little almost fire elementals outside each one, illuminating it in different colors. There's green lights and yellow lights and blue lights and red lights. And as you approach the center of town, you see this grand, almost gold-trimmed station illuminated by a yellowish light. As your vessel docks, and you feel the gravity shift a little bit as you kind of go forward, and you feel the train sinking down onto its platforms. All the doors of the cabins slide open, and you hear over the little almost sending stone up in the corner of your room illuminates and goes, "Arrived in Staraluska. Please depart promptly."
Well, so that's
Well,
us.
I guess that's us.
I'm gonna just sort of pull my little like half face mask thing up
Yep.
and over, and probably take a double check glance at Molokov's arm and see how covered it is.
Yeah, you see, like as we were approaching up, I imagine for the whole trip, he was probably face down in some books. He probably wasn't much into the conversations, but when we had that announcement, would have packed everything up, cloak over. Would have definitely, been making sure it was all secure, he was all covered, and
Yeah, I
ready
might
to go.
even.
And he would have almost slung his shield over as well to be over, like sort of at the backside as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
You still armored?
might even just.
Still armored.
Yeah.
Because it'd be kind of hard for him to not be. his the way he's designed everything now, his backpack almost is built into the armor. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I
As
just
you,
pop a hood on.
yeah, sure. As you kind of gather your kind of carry-ons and stuff like that, your backpacks and such, you do notice a couple of other first-class passengers kind of looking back down the corridor, but they've made their departure. And when you do get off into the platform, it is well covered, but it is almost that kind of awning where it's dripping onto the top of the train, and so you've kind of still had to do a little hop skip just to get under the cover of this place. And you see a kind of a big open, it's not huge, but it's a main city station. It tiles on the floor, big overarching banisters and stuff like that. And what you do notice is that there is a lot of has a very, very cargo feel to it. Some of you may have known that Staraluska is a trade hub, because it's so central to Khorvaire. It sends off a lot of goods and services and stuff like that. So yes, you've arrived on the lightning rail for passengers, but there are quite a few trains that look like they're just cargo, whether they're going to Shan, whether they're going up to Thrain or wherever. But standing off to the side, you see the two elves, Dr. Arturo and Shapiro, as they kind of give a little wave over to you.
I'm gonna instantly, as I see them waving, I'm gonna look back. Can I see the cargo bays where Obak and Swiftscale are held?
Yes, you can see that a couple of gnomes are kind of like undoing them and bringing them out.
I'll just look to the party and say, hey, I'm just, Obak's gonna be pretty freaked out here. I'm gonna make sure he's okay, and I'm gonna walk to the cargo.
Sure.
I'll go with you.
All right. You and Puck go over, and these two gnomes are kind of like struggling with Obak, kind of like not that Obak's like being freaked out. He's just kind of like looking at them like,
yeah,
what are you doing? And come on. And then the other ones are like looking at Swiftscale like trying to like reach their hands up to him.
I'll just grab the rope off the guy and kind of give a whistle for Obak to start moving.
Straight away, he's just like trots over to you, and they're like,
I'll give him a little.
yes, he was very well behaved. thank you for traveling on the lightning rail.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And same with Swiftscale, kind of like just trots over to you, Puck.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a dog smile, but I reckon that
Yep.
Swiftscale smiles and all of the handles are just like, and then it's like Puck, like the smallest person there, just walks over confidently and gives a little, like reaches up and gives a scratch under the chin kind of thing, and like loosely takes the rein and starts walking off. Thank you, everyone.
Nice. As this is happening, Molotov, Ghost, and Hero, you approach the two elves, and the good doctor says, "Well, I hope the trip was as comfortable as I promised. Sorry about the weather. It's can come in a flash over these parts. I enjoy you. Expect you enjoyed the trip."
It was quite lovely. I could get used to this form of travel.
Oh, very much so. At this point, Shapiro kind of leans over to him and says something in his ear, and he goes, "Yes, I know. We have some business to attend to tonight. I hope you don't mind us disappearing. No one will be ready to transport the caravan until the morning. You're more than welcome to have a look around if you want. I wouldn't go out into this rain much, but a good place for rest would be the Golden Dragon Inn. You can find that just down the street there. Very accommodating for travelers passing through, and good food, if you don't mind me saying. If it's all right with you, I'm happy to meet you outside there in the morning with the supplies and the nurses."
Yes, sounds perfect.
All right. Well, please. Yes.
It's a big city. Is there any place you'd recommend to we go check out? Or I don't know, entertainment.
Sights to see and stuff.
Yes, there is plenty to do here. Probably not at this hour though. The Golden Dragon Inn sometimes has performances and bands, quite well known, and definitely a warm fire to sit by. But no, I don't imagine much will be open in this weather and this time of night.
Have we arrived here yet?
Go and entertain.
I'd say you're walking over now.
Okay. I would just like to kind of ask if, as I kind of slightly overhear about this inn.
Yep.
I'll just say, is it expensive? I'm not sure if we're capable of paying for that.
Of course. Yes. How rude of me. It's secure shelter should be for you 40 gold.
For one
I see.
one night.
Unzips and pulls out 40 gold. This should suffice. Puck, you recognize the name Golden Dragon Inn. The Golden Dragon Inn is a House Galander certified brand name. They are normally found in the major cities, and boy, do they have a reputation that upholds them. They have the price sounds about right, but the price would definitely reflect the service you would get there.
Right. Well, I've been to one or two of the Golden Dragons. Not this one myself, but we'll be well taken care of.
Right. Well, apologies, but we must be going if we are to sort all the paperwork and whatnot by the morning. I bid you a good night and stay safe. As he kind of puts his hood up and gives everyone a nod, and him and Shapiro kind of run off into the rain.
I kind of give Puck a nudge as they're sort of disappearing into the crowd. And where do you think they're going?
Ostensibly to go and find these healers that we're taking, but I don't know. Something about it doesn't feel quite as clean or clear cut as they make it sound.
Hey, at least they're putting us up for the night.
Do you want to follow them and see what they're doing?
Oh, it's really fucking tempting.
I
Look,
can't
we're here to do a
sneak
job,
around
not
with him holding the dinosaur. Yeah.
That's fair.
I like just like an image of Puck, and then you just see like the middle of the dinosaur because it's so tall. It's just like
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. And walking out of the back carriage comes this bipedal wolf face.
I am
What's on
Optimus
the front
Prime.
scares a few times. That then drops down into all fours and shifts into its more comfortable position and comes up behind me. I think we'll leave it.
Varga,
Any
can you
secret?
give me a perception check, please?
Yeah, sure. 17.
17. Your group is getting some attention. Just passers by, kind of looking, especially now that this robot is turned into a wolf, kind of mid-station. No one's really stopping and staring, but you feel it. You feel the looks.
The anxiety is there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just turn to the group and I'll say, do you mind if we get to the Golden Dragon Inn soon? I preferably just want to get inside as soon as possible, if that's okay.
Yes, I don't want to be on the street for long.
Sounds like the best idea.
Do we need to find a place for point at the dinosaur and point at the giant fucking yak and
Would the Golden Dragon Inn have a
Absolutely.
stable?
Yeah.
Stable.
We'll be fine at the if we just go and check into our accommodation. They'll take care of them.
Alright, well
We have good security at this Dragon Inn.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna kind of get ready to go, but like pull my hood down just a little bit further so it's covering a lot of my face at
Sure.
this point. So I'm more just watching the ground. Maybe like if I'm following. Oh, I guess he's smaller than me, so I can still see him. But I'll put my weapon like kind of tucked into Obek,
Yeah.
so I'm not. I don't want to look threatening in any way. So like weapons are going,
For sure.
staying there.
Absolutely, and even though like this is a civilized city, a walled city as you would have known it by, but there are adventures. This is a world of adventures. Like people have weapons, people have armor and stuff like that. It's not like you're standing out like oh my god, these guys are, are trouble.
I think he's just like wanting to play it safe because he's like, I don't know how I'm going to be treated. I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm just going to play it really carefully.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So if everyone wants to head off from the station, you start making your way down to the Golden Dragon Inn, and it is very well signposted. You see a couple of street signs pointing that way, and as you get closer, it's almost got. It's kind of about 3-4 stories tall, and almost an old kind of traditional Chinese. It's got a big bottom one that curves up to a roof that goes to a curved second floor, curved third floor, and there are lanterns all around it. This place is almost emitting as much light as any of the street signs on the moon at this point, if there was one at top of these clouds. But it is still pouring down with rain as you kind of do that quick run to the front, and there's a big awning across there, and you see at the door two big wooden doors that go inside. There are 2 Goliaths standing there with quite fitted leather armor as they kind of see you approach and go, good evening, travelers. Welcome to the Golden Dragon Inn. Puck, you notice up just behind the door there is a logo of a blink dog that has been branded into the door, representing your house. But above that, in more very intricate linked kind of cursive letters, it says Golden Dragon, and you then notice that the cursive is actually a dragon going through the word before it reaches the end. As they look down and they go, how may we be of assistance tonight? Terrible weather it is, but I'm sure we can provide a hearth and hearty food.
Yes, we're looking for that and a bed to lay our heads in.
Of course, of course. Well, head on in, and you should find Flynn. Flynn should take care of you. Would you like to put the companions in a safe place. We are welcoming to all, but there is a line we can't cross, you can imagine.
Yes. Which side of the stable's on?
Just round here, if you follow me. And he starts to walk off.
Yep, I'll follow.
Turn to here. How's that for protection? Yeah, good security.
Yes. Yeah, two big.
That's terrible.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
The
I'm gonna,
Goliath that
like,
stayed behind is like, we do our jobs quite well, yes.
I'm gonna give like a big sigh, thinking that he means me, that I have to stay in the stables as well. So I'm just gonna be like, and then like follow.
As you turn around, and it's covered stables. They're not fancy, but it's covered. There's hay in there. There are separate pens if need be, and they kind of sort you out. You get the feeling, Puck, that your accommodation, since you mentioned it, will cover your stables. So they don't even ask for a payment there. Vargir, what you notice is when he kind of finishes putting O back in, you see him taking care and patting him and stuff like that, turns around to you and goes, he reaches out his hand. Your coat, sir. Would you like me to take it?
Oh, no, that's fine, thank you.
Oh, of course. Well, if you follow me back in, we'll sure to make you comfortable. Kind of put you at ease a little bit.
Yeah.
As you walk back in to the tavern, you enter a very warm. The heat kind of hits you as you walk in, and you see that it is almost set up around a circular fire in the middle. It's almost like a bonfire, and you see as you look up, it goes up through all the floors. That there is almost like a central hole or chimney that goes up, and each floor you can see the stairs, and people are kind of leaning off it, having drinks up by their rooms, and down on the bottom floor as well. You see a stage off to the corner, and a band's kind of just playing some little ditties over there. A couple of people are bobbing their heads along to it. At the back of the room, you see a long, almost like deep oak bar that a halfling is running up and down behind. He's got his towel over his shoulder. He's kind of got two big flasks in his hand, hands them over to an orc, and then slides down and gives it to an elf that's kind of like trying to stumble off his seat and go back to his table. Puck, give me a perception check.
That's sorry, I can't remember what my bonuses are. Perception, that's a 22.
22. You notice some of the tables, they all look like people have been here for a couple of hours, but each table looks clean enough that it's like, but there's no staff around clearing the plates and stuff like that. And then you kind of start catching it out of the corner of your eyes. You see the plates kind of just get picked up and moved off. Definitely one of the defining features of a House Galanda, Mark of Hospitality person is to use unseen servants. As the
little nod of approval.
As it's almost like, someone goes and puts the new drink down, and as they do and start their conversation, the old drink kind of just picks up and moves off, kind of thing, just to keep it flowing. But at the back of the bar, you see this halfling kind of like take a breather and lean up against the back wall of alcohol.
Well, shall we go and secure some lodgings?
Yes, I suppose
Good to
that's
me.
that's the man we need to speak to.
Salvation Hotel's a fucking shame, doesn't it?
We're going to be quite.
Looking around with all everything gold and luscious and stuff floating. Like,
Has a very orange glow to it inside here. Like, just the warmth of the place is very nice. You almost already feel your clothes drying.
Between the first class train and this, we might struggle once we hit the road again. And I'll start heading over to the counter.
Sure. You see this halfling see you approaching, and he kind of jumps down and moves over to the counter, and you kind of see that he's got like a couple of you can imagine he's got a couple of different step stools along the counter, so he can come up, serve, go back down, come up, serve, go back down. Leans over and goes, g'day everyone. My name's Flynn Hayes Cherrycrest. How can I help you?
Flynn, we're after some rooms for us.
Oh, absolutely. A fellow halfling like yourself, I'm sure I could cut you a deal or two. How many of there are you?
Your robot did Envy go in the stables, or what's Envy doing?
No, funnily enough, it's just been following me, walking through the front door, and unless the guard said anything about it, has managed to just get inside.
I'm going to say it got a look for sure, but you have also noticed that there are like one or two Warforged in the bar too, and they've kind of gone, I don't know about it, but we'll just keep an eye on it.
I imagine
That's
Ghost
fair.
has put like a fedora and a trench coat on him.
A moustache.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she doesn't need lodging. We have a backup for that.
All right, well then there's just the five of us you can see.
5 people. Well, all right. He kind of scratches his mutton chops and pulls out like a little notepad and scribbles something down. He goes, let's see. Well, for 5 years, let's sort out a room. You happy sleeping together, or would you like separate lodgings?
Just turn
Sort
around.
of-
Fine together.
Together. Absolutely. Wonderful. That'll be, I'm going to say about 30 gold.
I don't know who took it, but whoever
I
took
imagine
it.
you did.
Okay, cool. I'll hand over the 30. I'll hand over 32.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. As you head over, do you have anything that marks you as...
I have a little pin on my brooch that probably gets covered when I have my hood down. Like it's also quite dull metal, but
Yep.
like I'll make sure that it's a little bit visible, not being super obvious.
Sure. I'm going to roll him a perception check if you're not hiding it. Natural 1, sorry. Takes the 32 gold and goes, oh, you're too kind. Well, you'll find yourselves up on our first floor. He kind of pulls out a giant key ring that's got like 70 keys on it. He's like, here you go. 1 key is all we can do at the moment, so make sure you don't lose it between yourselves. But please feel free to have some food, have some wine, and have some enjoyment here at the Golden Dragon Inn. Let me know if you need anything, and have a good night.
Thank you. And
Thank
I'll
you.
start heading up.
Cool.
I don't suppose you know anything that happens in town during the evening, place of entertainment, so on and so forth.
Well, you're looking at it right here, mate. Golden Dragon Inn is one of the hottest places to be.
Really warm.
It's quite warm in here.
You're more than welcome to go stand out in the rain if you want, but me, I personally prefer being warm and my belly full.
That's a fine point you got there, sir. Hey, we have some friends at the Jurassical Foundation we're meant to be meeting up with. I don't suppose you can point us in the direction of where they set up in town?
Oh, House Tarasco. Yeah, no, they're pretty. They keep to themselves. That big building up there. Pretty much, you go back to the station, and as much as you travel down here, you go the opposite direction, and you'll find House Tarasco. But I wouldn't go there unless I've got a limb falling off or there's blood spurting out my neck.
Good advice. I bet.
It's the only advice I give, mate.
Right. Well, thanks for that. I'm gonna, yeah, I just turn away, head up the stairs.
We're quite late at night now, aren't we?
It's pretty
Like,
late, yeah.
I'm gonna sort of, sort of look to everyone. Are you all eating food then? Are you having a drink before you go?
I was thinking of taking a glass of milk to bed.
I am going. Yes, I think I'm going to have an early night. What I can do is leave the key with, and you see like the little spider. Well, not so little. There's like the claws of the spider just like come up from my back. I can leave him as like a guard outside our room, and I don't know, maybe he can give you the key after I let myself in.
I mean, if you're in there, you can just leave it unlocked. We've got the two big boys out the front. I think this is
This
a
is
safe
true.
place.
This is true.
As long as we lock it when all of us are in. The last one that locks the door should be okay.
Are we all in one room? Is that?
That's what you agreed on, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
I
well,
think that-
whoever's last in can just lock it behind them.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Well, good night then, friends. And see, like you don't know quite when it happened, but he seems a little bit sheepish. Like there's something a little bit weird, and he sort of, I don't know. Normally he's very, standing tall and all of that, but he you know, something seems very sheepish, and he almost like has dropped his shoulders and seems a little bit shy. And he sort of wanders up and finds the room.
Just
I
on that,
imagine-
because I want
Yeah.
more of this, because that was great. Take a point of inspiration.
Ooh. Cool.
Saying what we see rather than you don't have to say it out loud
Yeah.
as a character. Cool. But you head up to the room. Malcolm, you get into this room, and again, it's a day of or a week of just a day of travel. Very fancy, fine accommodation. There are 5 beds spread throughout the room, enough that you can like have your own space. You can put your luggage down, whatever. They're kind of maybe, a foot and 2 foot off the ground. Very plump mattresses. Looks like they're full of feathers and wool, and the blankets are furs and stuff like that. There's a couple of paintings along the walls, and then kind of like a almost like one of those curved to a flat window at the end. Looks out, but you can hear the rain kind of pitter-pattering on it.
Cool. And I think he sort of admires that for a moment, but he leaves. I'm imagining he's going to leave his little dwarven spider friend. Almost, I imagine he sort of like skitters up the outside of the door and sits like hanging upside down over the doorway.
Yep.
Sort of, come wake me if anyone other than our friends comes in or is hanging around.
As much as the spider can nod, it confirms that it has understood you.
A little light comes on.
Yeah. Green light.
And yeah, he sort of walks into the room, picks a bed, stands in front of it, and pulls like a chink, and the armor opens up, and he steps himself out of it, pulls the arm out, and
Does it kind of like sit at the end of your bed like a mannequin suit?
like that's exactly what it's going to be.
Like in Fallout 4, the power suit.
Yeah. That's exactly how I imagine it. And yeah, he sort of steps out. His normal arm sort of slips out from the armor. The robot arm is unarmored.
Yep.
And sort of steps out of it and sort of makes sure the door's closed. Listens for someone outside for a second, and then
Give me a perception check.
that's a natural 3, so it's not going to be very good. 4.
4. You still hear the noises of the tavern and stuff like that outside. The door's hefty, but you don't think anything of it.
And he sort of undoes his brooch, whips the cloak off, and sort of like hangs it on the armor, and finally does the same with his shoulder pad, and almost just like clips that back on the armor, and
Yep.
looks down at the arm and the scarring, and blows out whatever lantern is there and hops into the bed.
Sure.
And I imagine he's going to pull the covers up, close his eyes, and wait for everyone to come in and settle down.
Okay, so like you're not going to sleep, you're just kind of
Not going to
pretending you are.
sleep.
Yeah. Okay. The rest of you downstairs, what's going on?
Hey, here is your brother all right?
Varg,
Oh,
worried
great.
about people being racist towards him. He's racist towards Tabaxi.
Muted down.
I I was on mute. I that's not that's just my friend. It's, you can't just assume that every cat is related to every cat. That's out of control.
It's the lean
That's-
to the camera as well. Like, is this thing?
It's,
Hello? Do I speak into this?
You can't be saying shit like this.
That's weird. We met on a boat. That's not my
Oh,
brother.
I'm sorry. I just assumed. I apologize.
I know you assumed. That's but I mean, just nobody really likes the big cities. I mean, look at you. You pull your hood all the way down, only see your feet.
This is true.
There's lots of people here. Some people just don't like lots of people.
Fair enough. I might join suit. Yeah, I'm just gonna pop up and go to bed. Nothing much to it. He's just gonna kind of clamber into a small bed and just get all comfy.
Sure, and it is comfortable. Yeah, it's probably a little bit not suited to your stature.
Yeah.
But it's still cozy enough. Like, it's not like you've got given single beds. They are probably like, queen size or whatever. But it's still the length. You kind of, your feet kind of fall off the edge. But you see Molokov is already asleep. His lantern's blown out, and you settle yourself in and go to sleep as well. What about the rest of you?
I didn't realize that being in town would be quite so disruptive to some of us. I'm going to go and have a drink and just see what I hear, but no one needs to feel pressure to join me.
No, I might stick around. It's just yes, well, like I said, lots and lots of people. Don't want to bump into the wrong folk. I like this place though, it seems nice and safe.
I've always found it's easier to hide in a lot of people.
And nights like this, you're hardly gonna run into the bad lot. But it's $30 a fucking night. I don't like it.
Uh,
I'm going for a walk.
A walk outside.
Yeah, in the wet.
It's still raining.
Sure is. Might I don't know, freshen me up after a long trip on the road. I don't fucking know. Look, I just don't like being in fancy places. I'll catch up with you in an hour or so.
For sure. All right. Well, why don't we follow Ghost first, and then we'll come back to Hera and Puck. So you walk back out past the two bouncers. They kind of look at you and give you like a good luck kind of look, as it's still pretty heavily raining outside. But it's nice to feel the kind of cool breeze on you at the same time.
We in sort of the summer season, like this is like a summer rain where it's cool but not cold.
For anyone keeping track, we're in it's the 4th of Ran, Rhaan.
Yeah, we got a few days there. That's right.
We have gone a few days.
I was off by 2 days.
And it's not really summer as such. It's not freezing, but the rain is still cool. And around these areas, there's kind of flash rains and storms because it's so flat. But it's not freezing. It's just wet and kind of at nighttime.
Yeah, cool.
Not tropical
I'll
by
get
any
about-
means.
We get about 30 paces out into the rain. And kind of look up towards the skyline of the cities and look
You
around.
You see the thunder clouds, rumble a little bit, and those towers that you saw coming in, you see there's a couple dotted around the city as well, and a lightning will hit it, and the energy will go down it, and you kind of, maybe it's just your eyes, or maybe it's the blur of the rain, you kind of see every light in the city just Just give it a little bit of a surge.
Let's try to be a little more conspicuous this time, shall we? Take a nap, and I kind of kick open so I'll take off the pack, which is now the like bastardized version of the briefcase.
Yep.
And kick it open, and Envy kind of climbs into the bag of holding.
Yep.
Throw it back on my back. Pull a collar out of my belt, place it around my neck, and sort of these diamond patterns shimmer in front of my face. And I'm going to take the visage of myself, but full dwarven, rounder nose, rounder face, stockier in the shoulders, longer and black hair, normal colored eyes.
Yep.
Using the disguise self spell.
I like it.
And I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to stick to the slightly shadier alleyways. And
As you kind of disguise yourself, you turn into this dwarf, and it's like got nice hair and everything, and then suddenly it just like starts getting wet and droops down. As the disguise self, your mechanic thing is like, well, it's still raining, so we better make sure we look the part.
Yep, I do it the first time, then go, wait, I'm still dry. Doesn't make sense, and then just kind of adjust the setting slightly. It just wetness.
Yep. Okay, you're going for a walk. Where are you headed? You don't know the city?
I don't, but I'm going to follow those rough directions back towards the Jurassic Foundation.
Okay.
Stick to that immediate area.
Sure. You head back past the station, and the vibes you're getting from this, it's very much windy streets, kind of, the city's been built as it's grown. There are a couple of gridded areas, but then there's a little cul-de-sac added in here, and there's a little, let's put some more shops here and more apartments here and houses and stuff like that. But you do come across the big open space where the station is, and it just says Staralaska Lightning Rail Station. And it looks like it's not operational at night, but there's still quite a lot of almost floodlights on big bright gemstones that are like lighting up quite distinct areas. A couple of security guards walking around. They have the Brayland shield logo on their capes. Actually, give me a history check.
Yes. Yeah, 8.
You would know that you are in the region of Brayland, and by wearing these logos, these are probably some sort of city guard, employed by the governor or whatever. As you move past them, they're doing their watch. They're not that enthused. They kind of just move around the station. You can hear a bit of works going on in there. As I said before, it's a very trade hub city. Think kind of like the docks of like a New York or a Boston kind of area. But as you pass it, you move on down the street. More shops, more just living quarters and little knickknacks and stuff like that. Everything's closed. Everything's shut up. But you do eventually reach a fenced building that is quite tall. Almost seems like it's got like a very big first floor lobby kind of area, and then it kind of like almost goes up almost in a kind of castle shape, but definitely not a castle. It's definitely it's almost got a look of a dare I say it, an asylum look. Old kind of medical. It's got money put into it, but it's got a bit of wear and tear on it. It goes up maybe 9-10 floors from what you can see, counting the lights on in the windows. And the fence around the outside is an iron fence with the little triangle spikes at the end of it. Big gate up the front, with the logo of the eagle holding a halo. So it's kind of like an eagle shape with the talon holding the wreathed, like the Caesar halo. and you recognize that as the house symbol of House Jarosco.
Yeah, cool. I get to this point, I'm gonna. I'm not gonna try and break in or anything. I'll just take a lap around the building,
Okay.
look for lights on.
Give me an investigation check, please.
That's better. 19.
19. The fence is quite a distance away from the building, and you notice a couple of lights on. You probably catch a couple of bodies moving past every now and then, but because the glass is either frosted or too high up, it's hard to tell who that is, what they are, what they're doing. You notice a couple of caravans and stuff outside. Whether these are the ones that are prepping for the next day or whether they're just supply caravans, it's hard to tell as well. They're covered with almost like tarpaulins, and the rain is dripping off them. It's quite hard to see through the bars.
Yeah, cool. Ghost isn't really up to too much here. There's no pushing everything. He's kind of just looking at stuff.
Yep.
Just getting a feel for the environment. Is there anyone else on the roads at the moment? Is anyone else walking around?
There's a few.
Rain,
There are people.
traveling.
Yeah, there are people kind of darting between buildings to get back. Maybe a horse and cart traveling down, but no, not at this hour. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, cool. It's all good.
But the city isn't empty. It's not deserted kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a city. It's like Auckland at 2 a.m. in the morning. There's still people.
Yeah.
Around between bars and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Or quietly heading home and sort of thing. Cool. I'll go like a block further into the city and head back towards the Golden Dragon.
Sure.
But just taking my kind of meandering through streets I don't really know and just getting a feel for
Sure.
what's in the area.
I like it. I'm going to send you something. And it'll eventually be shared with everyone, but for now you can only reference it from yourself.
Okay.
It's basically a map of the city.
Oh, cool.
Where am I looking? There you go. But as we exit from the cold, windy rain, we join ourselves back in the tavern. You kind of move a little bit, off to a corner. You find a table that suits both of you and sit down with your chosen beverages.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
I am just drinking a glass of milk.
Just milk, nothing in it?
No, nothing. No Baileys and milk. Nothing like that. Just a nice, cold, firm glass of A-grade calcium.
Yeah, completely unrelated, but is Obak's a boy, right?
Go back.
I believe so.
Yeah, Obex.
Okay, cool. I just wondered if we had like a easy meal on the road for our cat friend.
Oh, I thought you meant you're going to kill Obak for some mistake.
No.
He wants me
That's
to milk
exactly what I thought you were saying, and I was like, what the fuck?
PvP.
No, I checked. He's
I checked.
he's a boy.
You.
But like Hero would do it just like, alright.
Yeah, no, I didn't think to mention it, but I had a look. I kind of just want to kind of sit and people watch down here.
That's kind of what I had in mind as well. But I did have a question for you. You seem a lot more calm here than and Molokov? Is there a reason?
Well, I suppose I'm just a lot more calm in general, and perhaps some situations I shouldn't be. But no, I like to think I'm quite small and not noticeable. But uh, yeah, as you've maybe noticed, our friend has some quite defining features.
Is
Uh,
that something that's not looked upon well?
uh, no, not necessarily. Uh, More perhaps just quite an identifying item. There's not a lot of people out there with a big metal arm. Not that not that we're trying to hide from anybody in particular. I start drinking my milk.
Yeah, can I try and insight some of that?
I mean, you can inside it if you want. It's
Yeah.
not subtle.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I guess I'll make a roll and I'll see. Based oh, it's a natural 20. So it's a 22. I don't know. Like, I guess which parts seem the most untrue about that?
Uh, that we're not trying to hide from anyone in particular.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just sort of like give you a look, like a knowing look, and I'll say, not, of course not, and not anyone in this town in particular.
No. Uh, it's just like I said before. Bigger towns, bigger population, more chance of people we don't like. That's
Right.
that's all there is to it. We didn't do anything bad. We just there's bad people out there, you know.
Right. Well, I didn't. I guess I didn't really think about the fact that it might be. I saw it as a healing that you'd done together, rather than something that he might need to. Is it shame or fear?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't think
I'm aware that I'm asking you and not the person with it, so
But
obviously.
that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well.
What do you really think, Kira?
Yeah, that's. I pensively look off and drink my milk.
The milk starts to go to your head.
I'm saying too much.
Bit of catnip.
Oh, kill some catnip right now. I think Molokov would not like to say it as fear, but I think there is always a little fear in all of us. But I think it's almost confusion. We didn't think these people were bad to start with. Well, I mean, I do. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. Well, not us really. I'm just sort of there for the ride, and then I no, it's not my business to say. I think these are the things that perhaps you should ask Malakov about.
Yes. Well, perhaps I'll try and find an opportunity to. He's Yes. Maybe once we're out of town, he'll calm down a little. It'll be easier to talk about.
He's
But
a
yeah.
good friend.
What was it that you yourself were doing at the university? I know that you were both coming out to have a look into the Mournlands, but what was it that you were studying or teaching or?
No, I study under. It's written down somewhere. I study under Professor Tivash. Under the Strixhaven Initiate at the college.
And he was looking into the Mournlands.
Well, it is quite an interesting place, you know, for the scientific mind, and we study a lot to do with the comings and goings of life and death.
It's not a well understood place.
Precisely. It was high time we did some proper investigations into what is going on there. It's been
So
long enough.
your interest is more in the death side of it, or in just the why it exists side?
Well,
I ask because I think that we might have might share a penchant for things that pass away or have passed away.
Hera leans in. You dabble with a little bit of death?
Well, mostly dealing it out, but I have sometimes I do feel a connection to some essence that
Yes.
of the
Yes,
recently
yes.
departed.
There is definitely arcane there. That's also part of, well, it's more of a personal thing, but I've always wondered where that little bit of energy or power comes from, you know? That's, perhaps there's more there than we know about.
Yes, and what you can do with it, although I'm not sure that I'll ever be the master of it that you are, but
Oh, Master, this no, you too kind. I merely a beginner to forget some things.
well, yes, I might have some questions for you, but I've certainly started to understand a little more of how to learn from the spirits from the beyond, and to they have a lot of knowledge that you can use and apply.
Spirits from the beyond. Knowledge you can apply. I'm going to sort of start just rummaging around with some books and notes and stuff. And yes, well, there's a lot we can learn. And I'll sort of lose myself in some notes and some books and sort of be sitting there at the table drinking my milk, but I've sort of not realizing it, exited the conversation very unprofessionally, as Hera does. Like, you've made me think of something, and I've gone to look for a note to maybe say something, and then started reading and pulled out some other notes, and am now just sort of having a look around at my stuff.
Getting used to it. I will just sort of have a little chuckle to myself, and I'll keep nursing my ale. And I'll just sort of look around and listen. I'm particularly trying to listen if I can hear anyone talk about the Jurassico. That really listening for that word, or I think did you say nurses or whatever it was, like that? Just keeping an ear out for that. Just.
Do you think I can smoke in here? Or do you think I have to step outside? I'm just going to try it.
Sure.
Roll a cigarette and start smoking at the table while I'm going over notes. I'm actually looking for small and beginner steps to maybe put together so I can put a little leaflet together for Puck to start learning little tips and tricks.
I like that. You light up your cigarette and it feels as comfortable as anything, with no one making a side eye to you. You kind of almost even notice that when you puff out the smoke, it kind of goes and then just dissipates, like it's not reaching any other table, kind of thing.
That's fantastic.
Then when you look around, you see maybe one or two other tables on the other side of the tavern enjoying a cigar or something like that as well. And again, their smoke doesn't leave their table either. Yeah.
Magical events. Bliss.
Puck, give me a perception check.
Oh, that's not so good. Perception, that's a 12.
12. The conversations are mostly dying around the tavern, dying out around the tavern as it is getting a bit late, which makes it easier to pick into specific conversations, but it also means that people are kind of not slurring their words, but conversations are dying out, so people are losing enthusiasm, and it's quite hard to kind of like lean in. Jarosco doesn't come up. the conversation's kind of you're kind of focusing on that, and sounds like people that they've had a good day at work, better get home to the family, stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be there until I finish my drink, and then I will. If depending on what Hera is doing, I will go.
Have
I
I
will either give
noticed
her the
that
key
you're-
and go to bed. Sorry.
Yeah, if I notice that you're hitting, sort of finishing your drink up, I'll sort of, oh, yes, it's quite late, I suppose, and I'll tie it up and just follow you up. Crash
I'll
at the same
push my,
time.
my empty cup to the edge of the table and watch it just sort of float away, just like 2 or 3 seconds after I'm done with it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Harry, you probably don't notice it, but your table's cleared as you're making your way through a couple of drinks, through even your cigarette butts you put down, and then the ashtray's emptied. But you're noticing the multiple unseen servants around this place that are working quite hard without interrupting anyone's conversation or anyone's night.
But once we're done, I will head upstairs and curl up into a halfling-sized ball. Yeah, fully relaxed, like fully trusting and relaxed that this place is safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is nice and a bit of a change from the last little while.
Very comfortable and very secure. Harry, you're following him up?
Yep, I'm gonna do a big stretch.
Yep.
Oh, this looks wonderful. I'll tuck myself in and start snoring.
Amazing. Ghost, you finally get back and you see that most of the tavern is cleared up at the moment. None of your companions are downstairs anymore. What would you like to do?
Yeah, my one question was, what I imagined happened as I got to the Drasco Foundation. I said I was going to go a block further into the city and walk back.
Yep.
So as I'm walking back on this southern side of that that division there, as I get to that last little bridge, which is where I imagine I'll turn back over to get to the Golden Dragon.
Yep.
As I'm looking around, is there anything of particular symbology on building marked number 6 that would trigger my attention? Just looks like a building.
I would probably say that you don't. Give me a perception check.
It's not much plus on that. 14.
14. You would take in that it's raining, so you got your head down kind of thing as well. But you do notice that it is a noble house. It's not like nobles brand themselves on front of the house, but it is gated. It is a bit upper class. It has a garden out the front and stuff like that, and you clock it, but you don't really notice anything of it.
Yeah, cool. Don't worry. In that case, I get back. I take my disguise back off before entering the facility. Look around at a very closed, quiet bar. Head over to the to the bar, dripping wet. Hey, got something that can warm me up?
Yeah, absolutely. It pours a little tiny glass of a orangey liquid and slides it over to you.
Wonderful. How much?
Oh no, it's included in your room's cost.
Makes more sense.
More sense.
Ah, nothing. I not used to such lavishments. It's been a while.
Of course. Well, enjoy. Everyone's kind of wrapping up for the night. You don't need any help getting up the stairs, or are you good by yourself? He's kind of trying to see what kind of condition you're in.
I'm just wet.
Yeah.
No, thanks. I'm good.
Right.
You get to your work,
Right,
champion.
well.
Take my shot.
All right. Make me a Constitution check.
Oh yeah. Nat 20.
Nice. You feel this liquor go down, and you almost feel it pulse out heat throughout your body. And you kind of stabilize yourself on the stool, and your vision kind of shifts a little bit, but it comes back to normal. And you look down, and you're dry.
Just like pop a steam.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't joking. What's that called?
That's what we call fireball in these parts.
Fire. Far out. Might have to find me a place I can buy a bottle of that stuff at some point. That's fantastic.
All right, easy now. Don't need too much of it at once.
No, I bet. That almost gave me the hiccups. I'll leave you to it, fine sir.
All right, have a good night. Turns around, continues cleaning up.
Upstairs. Sneak into the room as best as I can, rather noisily. Sort of plonk myself down on the bed. Scratch my head for a minute. Lie down. Decide this is not for me. Get up off the bed. Throws a bedroll down on the floor. Takes a pillow off the top of the bed. And just nuzzles in.
Funny enough, the floor is also comfortable.
I bet. It's right. It's got like a nice plush Arabian carpet on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will quickly, before we go through the night, Molokov, the last person, has entered the room and stumbled onto the floor and fallen asleep.
Probably, as he got in the room, a sigh of relief going, "4." And then proceeded to hear him shuffle around for another fucking 10 minutes. Yeah, just go to fucking sleep. And then finally he does, and finally and closes his eyes properly and lets himself.
Goes off to sleep.
And he's going to do his best, obviously. I know I'm not a great morning person. He's going to try and wake up as early as he can. But
Okay.
if he sleeps in, he sleeps in.
Sure.
Not going to set an alarm or anything.
No. Alarm tripwire and everything.
Yeah.
As you all kind of doze off to sleep in this, it's warm, it's comfortable. You know that ahead of you is going to be some sort of task, maybe holding another adventure. But each of you, one by one, I'll let you decide the order. Wake up in the morning and you can already smell the bacon and eggs and freshly squeezed orange juice kind of rising up through the rooms. You kind of clock that the central chamber of exhaust from this hotel also carries the scent of food, carries the scent of booze, carries whatever vibe is going on the bottom floor up to all the rooms.
Great marketing.
Yeah, that's a way to get people on the continental breakfast.
Yeah. But yeah, Molokov, you wake up. I don't know whether anyone else is waking already. The sun is kind of coming in the window. Seems like the rain has passed.
He sort of
heavy on the milks last night, so I'm probably sleeping in.
He sort of wakes up.
Start at the standing thing that's like next to the end of the bed that he didn't really notice when he came in at night. Thinks there's someone there for just a second. He's like, oh, no.
Hera is asleep in the armor man suit. Just like hugging it.
Yeah, sort of Molokov probably wakes up and sees like one or two people stirring, so sort of thinks about it for a second, and then the spider comes skittering along the floor, grabs the cloak off the armor and sort of almost just throws it at him, and he wakes up and slings it over his shoulder as casually as he can, and fixes it with the brooch of his mark, and then if anyone thinks they'll be awake, let me know. But otherwise, just puts on his armor as normal. Might not actually get right into the full armor suit. Probably just puts on the shoulder pad and
Yeah.
Puck is a light sleeper and definitely is like laying in bed, but definitely is watching you put
Yep.
shoulder on.
Because you're probably a little bit suspicious from last night anyway. Feel free to make a perception check
Okay.
if you would like.
That's a perception.
Yep.
16.
Hang on. You're going against my sleight of hand. Which I just don't know yet. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to word this. If you were watching him and you've beaten his sneakiness, you definitely, before he gets that cloak over, you see the connection from the arm to the torso, and it's strange. There's almost the scarring on the torso itself, and it looks I don't know, painful, like like it looks like a rough scar that's got many different points, and it spreads onto the arm, almost carving, like it's like something's burnt claw marks into the arm, into weird shapes. You wouldn't have seen much of it. Reese, how do you want to play recognizing?
Give me
anything?
a history check.
Yeah.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah. Because otherwise, because you'll only really, in reality, still have a second or two to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. History. There it is. That's a 14.
Yeah, you are educated in some of these designs that it is along, but it's quite a quick time you've seen it. It is what you see. It is a design. It is a mark, and the mark continues across from the flesh to the metal. As if it was done at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
But these marks happen at birth. They're birth marks.
Yeah. Okay.
And that doesn't make sense that a metal arm would have the exact same thing unless it was intentional or whatever. But the cloak is now
that's
on.
why I notice it. Because it's like that doesn't seem quite right. The other thing is, I just want to check when you. I don't know how it plugs in or whatever, but like, what kind of facial expression do you give off? Is it
Just
is
a
it like
Phillips.
you're in pain, or is it like relief, or
Pleasure.
The arm doesn't detach. The arm stayed on all night. He woke up, got the cloak as quickly as he could.
Oh, the cloak. Sorry, okay. I think I misunderstood. Okay, cool.
Sorry, yeah. No, the arm never detached.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, that's my bad.
As far as you've seen, does not detach.
Yeah. Sure.
You've never seen him waking up in the morning and just like
you're not winter soldiering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Because your armor is basically sleeveless on one side, isn't it? The arm kind of slots.
That's how it's almost the chest plate is almost on hinges, and that's how he like almost just steps into it. Puts his left arm through the other arm, and it closes in.
Yeah. But once you've got the cloak on, I'll start like make a bit of, like fake yawn, but like audibly, so I'm awake kind of thing.
Yeah.
Stand up and just stretch. I'm going to. Well, we're still in a civilized place. I'm going to make use of the washroom.
Fair enough.
Good call.
This room does have it's like an ensuite as well. Like it is included. There's not a shared bathroom in this tavern.
I reckon like last night I probably, because I don't actually do you have to like ask for like the hot water sort of thing to have a bath or showery type thing?
No, you and again the Golden Inn, the Dragon Inns you've experienced before. You will go in and it is a full bathroom. There's a bath, there's kind of like a bath and shower combined, there's a toilet, there's a basin, there's a mirror, and that these use elementals underground to source this. So hot water is on
Very
tap.
cool. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna bathe and stuff, and probably even shave a little bit, and just like really like take advantage of that. Like this is probably the last time it's gonna be this luxurious for a little while, and
Sure.
a chance to clean up.
Take time to pamper yourself.
It's important.
Definitely. All the rest of you are waking up now.
Yeah.
Ghost is now sitting on top of his bedroll, legs crossed, going through all of his tools and like little creations and trinkets, and is kind of organizing them. As he's done with Molokov many times out on the road and just prepping things for the day. And once Puck's done in the bathroom, he'll go in there, kind of splash water on his face, and is there like a box of like hotel soaps?
Yes, absolutely. I also love that most of this episode has been spent in bathrooms.
That's great.
On the train, in the hotel.
Yeah.
He like packs together like 4 blocks of soap and like tucks them away into his bag.
And each of the soaps is like a curled up dragon.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Like around a treasure hoard.
Oh yeah, fancy soaps. All right, cool. Yep, absolutely. Yep, taking like 4.
And you're the guy that takes them from the hotel. Love it.
Yep, absolutely.
Vargey, you were going to say something?
Is there like a little first aid station here? Like, is there a place with bandages, or is it just like the stuff we've got with us?
Probably not first aid stuff. What are you specifically looking for?
I think because I'll talk to you about this after as well, because I had a thought. But Varga's gonna get up and he's gonna kind of like for a good solid probably like 2 minutes. He's just gonna be looking at his left arm.
Okay.
Quite a while, and then he's gonna like grab something out of his bag or like rip some of the linen off the sheet and just like wrap his like to the point like you can't even see his fingertips. Like everything's wrapped up.
Sure. Some nice.
So he's still got hands, but it's just kind of like each finger is individually wrapped up. Yeah.
I like it. You kind of tighten it up. To anyone else, it looks like he's putting on like a nice what are they called, greaves? Wrapping his arm up, and he plays with it for a bit, but doesn't arise any suspicion other than that.
We've got some actual bandages if you want them.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, we just in here somewhere. Fishing
I'll
through the
send
bag.
you a message, Reese.
Yep.
Aren't we meeting up with like a whole bunch of nurses? I'm sure they can probably do something for you.
Oh, it's fine. Just some bandages will do.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
I smell eggs. I'm gonna start heading downstairs.
Nice. When you open the door, the smell almost hits you even more, and you just near cartoonishly float down the stairs to the breakfast that is being served. The table's been realigned. Seems from separate tables last night to kind of long, a couple of rows of long tables. They've all been pushed together, and there is almost a breakfast buffet down each table, so you can kind of sit where you want and just kind of pick it at spots. But you do end up sitting next to someone else, and someone else is across from you, unless you kind of all kind of sit in the same area.
Yeah, I'll leave a set of fresh bandages with Bargia, but also just give him like a curious side glance on my way kind of out of the room. This is more for you, Seb. I'll just get a general beat on like how comfortable does Vargia look at the moment? Like you've slept through the night.
Yeah, he slept through the night.
You look worried or concerned or.
I think off the bat it would more just be like a more concern, but like nothing too major right now. Like it's not like a oh my fuck. It's just more of like a okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
A wee bit of stress.
Nice. As you all kind of meet downstairs and get your fill of the breakfast, you do hear a couple of neighs and like horses and stuff outside. As you can kind of see through the doors as they open and close, you can see 1 or 2 caravans being almost tied down, and someone's attaching the rope, and you see a bunch of people hovering around one certain location. You can probably guess that this is a troop that is about to head off.
Does it look like does it have the eagle, the haloed eagle?
Yes, it does. On the side of the caravan, you can see that it is marked with the insignia of House Jarusco.
Threw a mouthful of bacon, kind of sitting. Probably found a spot next to Hera because just looked around and couldn't really find a place to sit. Kind of just went out the door. I think that's all right. They're here early.
Oh, well, should probably down our food and make a move. He'll probably be quite keen to make our way out there. How long are we to travel? Do you know?
So, from what you heard, and probably based on your knowledge of the map as well, a hex is a day's travel. So, about 6 days travel.
Pretty sure it was about a week. It wasn't going to be easy.
Oh, joy. We should.
Yeah, a hell of a lot better than walking through the mists, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, as much as that place intrigues me, I don't know how quick I want to get back in there. It's a strange place.
Well, we'll be close to it, not as close as we were in bathrooms.
No.
We should probably ask some more questions about this. What was it called?
In the run.
Work camp? Kenran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you headed.
That's where we're going today. Well, today and tomorrow. Day after. 4 more days after that. Oh, that's wide. Our feet.
Well, all right, I'll leave you with your thoughts. Look at my instructions. Then I'll pop up from the table, grab one more piece of bacon, and waddle outside just
Sure.
to see if I can find Arturo or anything like that.
So for you and anyone else that follows you out there, you see quite a couple of I say nurse, but it's males and females. They're kind of medical looking. They've got a kind of the white cloth on, and they do have little sigils of the eagle holding the wreathed halo. And they're fixing up maybe like 5 or 6 of them. They're kind of fixing up these caravans, putting some supplies in there. You can see that there's crates marked bandages, ailments, and some rations and stuff like that. There's both caravans are quite full, but there are space for like a couple of people to sit inside. But it doesn't look like everyone's going to be traveling inside the caravan the whole time. Each caravan is pulled by a horse. That kind of looks like one of these pack horses. It's good for long endurance walks and stuff. The hooves are very strong. The leg muscles look very defined, but they kind of are just sitting there being fed by some gnomes that are like taking care of them. And then at the front, kind of with a checklist, you see Dr. Artuno in kind of more coloured cloth, but still very like doctor on the move kind of stuff. Got a couple of colours, like a feather coming out of his cap that he has on as he looks up and goes, "Oh, well, good morning, Ghost. How are you? I trust the stay was as luxurious as anything?"
As luxurious as I could possibly imagine.
Well, I'm glad. We are hoping to get on the move quite quickly. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Everyone here seems to be mostly ready. We're just tying down the last of it. I imagine you and your group are good to go?
Just finishing breakfast. When are you coming for a coffee or something?
Oh, no, I've got a couple of things left to do as he kind of like fiddles around. You see he's got, a satchel under his cloak and little pieces of paper which must be like instructions and maps and stuff, and he's got his checklist as well. And he's like, we should be ready to go in a few minutes. If you don't mind, I would rather get on the road so we're not traveling by night.
Well, you have a navigator or something, or is that you?
That would be me, and by all means, the enlisted help that I've hired through you.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right. You're not paying us.
Yes.
Hey, well, I can't say I've been to Kenran before, but you lead the way. Well, fight off the beasts. I don't know.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that. It is mostly a straight travel southeast to Kenran. As you may or may not know, it's a pretty war-torn area, or was. A lot of disputed land over there between the fellows from down in Dargoon and us up here in Brayland. The path there should be pretty straightforward. Crossing the plains usually is safe. We'll look out for any weather or any bandits and such, but once we get there, we will, well, we know we're almost there when we hit the rock gardens, as they're called. Tall pillars of rocks that almost resemble a forest as such that you can't cut down. But in amongst there, we should eventually reach our destination of the aid camp that is being provided.
Right. Remind me, Kenran was a mining town? Something like that?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Pre-war, it definitely was a mining town. I'm not sure how much of the town is held up anymore, but that is why we are going.
Right. Because there's some sort of argument between the Dargons.
Well, you see, it's a pass between the mountains. There is a... Kenran is situated in between some flat grounds between the mountains up into Brayland. So, as you can imagine, it is a stronghold point for either people from Dargoon or people from Brayland to hold. And I think if I actually put you over to the big map, you'll be able to see this. So it's here.
Yeah, I see, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. But yes, once we navigate the caravans through the rock gardens, hopefully these will be accepted with gratitude, and we can play our part in providing a bit of aid. I will pay you, and you can be on your way. Like I said, your employment was to Kenran. I hope you can stay on with us after that, but that is obviously your call. Ah, and he'll notice the rest of you kind of starting to come out now.
Great. That's ready to go. The rest of you? Any questions?
Ready as
No.
always.
How are the horses reacting to our mounts?
When you do bring them out, they kind of like give the side eye to them, and but you can tell that they're pretty well behaved pack animals.
Yeah.
But no, you do bring out Obak and Swiftscale, and oh well, yes, I was going to say I did hope you bring those because there's not quite enough room for everyone to squeeze into the caravans.
Well, I think we're all ready.
All right. He'll finalize the checklist and see some of the nurses kind of do their thing and hop up into a caravan before it's even ready to go, just to secure themselves a seat. But together with Vigir on Obak, you on Swiftscale, and can you ride Envy?
I can.
Yeah.
Although, depending on how fast this caravan moves, I may just hop into the caravan myself because I think I'm going to be a bit slow.
Okay. There is space for 2 more in the caravan. So between you, Hera, and Molokov, there are 2 spaces left.
Let's
Park here.
Yeah.
Could I hitch a ride?
On Obak. Sure.
No, on your shoulders. Yes, on Olbeck.
That's fine. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll let go. I was about to say Khajiit. That's so incorrect.
Khajiit is in my backstory, so because I was like, at some point I'm gonna say Khajiit and not mean it, so I was like, fuck it, we call them that too.
Well, it can be just another tongue for tabaxi.
Yeah.
Khajiit is just the local. It's like in the Tabaxi language, right?
It's what the Nords call us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Khajiit is in the open license for D&D.
Yeah.
I will just like grab like a bit of like kind of like cloth made rope and just like hook it to the saddle of Obak and put it behind me, so you've got like almost a little reins to hold on to.
Nice. All right. So as you all kind of gather your things and two of you jump in the caravans, it will be one in each caravan unless you can convince the people to split up and you can sit together. It's up to you. And the rest of you on your mounts. Artuno will sit up the front of one of the caravans and direct the way as you leave Staraloska, heading southeast. As you do leave, you do get the sight of the city in daylight. You see that it is a mix between quite a lot of residences, some, tall spires, some fancier buildings. You probably do clock that house again, Ghost. A noble's house sitting there. Looks like a barracks of some sorts with the Brayland Knights, the Brayland Shield logo on it. Must be for the city guard, but Artuno is not hesitant in getting out of the city as you start heading towards Kenran. Before we start this journey, should we grab a quick coffee?
Oh, yo.
Can I just say?
So, ahead of us, we have 6 days worth of travel via caravan. Who wants to be the lucky first to roll the d20 for day 1?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right.
The notoriously unlucky dice
Yep.
is an 18.
18. As you set off, you quickly leave the comfort of the city behind you. The winds are still kind of picking up as you kind of go out onto this very flat topography in front of you. It's very much plains. There's a couple of grasses and shrubs growing over the place, but it is very barren. It's not quite a desert yet, but you know that you are heading towards some more dry-ish areas. Soon enough, you are off the main road. There seems to be a agreement, or Dr. Artuna will turn to you and strike a conversation that if you were to take the roads to Kenrin, it would take almost twice as long, if not a bit longer, even though it would be safer. He seems pretty keen on getting there as soon as possible to provide this aid. He seems to have a sense of urgency about getting there. But for the first day, apart from a cool breeze that comes across, you make most of it without any issues. Occasionally a horse will stop and be a little bit difficult, but you kind of progress that on and notice that having your mounts around everyone kind of encourages all the animals to kind of keep moving together. Whether that's traveling in a line or you kind of come back next to them. Day 1 goes past without any issue. You eventually find a place, not that you can get off the road, but you put the kind of caravans facing each other and set up a little bit of a perimeter. They've packed some kind of very light tents and bedrolls as you look up at the stars and settle in for the first night of rest. Is there anything anyone wants to do on day 1/night 1?
Definitely set up a watch for overnight, which I imagine is our jobs between the 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Is there time to ask, or is there space to ask questions to any of the nurses, or I would just like to,
or each other, or Dr. Artuna, whatever.
I'd just like to ask, I guess, Dr. Artuna, if I can, just ask him. I might have missed this, so this might just be a me thing, but there's the Dagoon, which is the Orcs and Trolls, which are in conflict with the Braylindians or Braylins.
So in the region of Dagoon, that's where you find it's not as civilized. It's a lot of tribes. It's a lot of orc war bands. It's not like Dagoon are all one nation together. It's just kind of the area name, but it is very rough down there. A lot of war bands, a lot of war camps, a lot of operations that set up where some troll will get a hold of a resource and then start like a monopoly over it. But then another troll will come in and like a gang war kind of thing. And because that's their Kenrin is their pass up into Brayland, that's where a lot of the fighting happens. Between Brayland and between human Brayland soldiers and orc or goblin kind of war bands trying to push up their territory.
Yeah, cool.
Whoever's in charge at the time.
So the Dagoon consists of orcs and trolls and kind of got all goblinoids sometimes. The Braylindians, however you want to reference them, they consist of
most races, but the main is probably human elf dwarf. You're kind of your good races. Dwarves are obviously more up in the mountains and stuff, but Brayland is kind of your kingdom of man.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Cool. That's
and he'll explain this to you. He'll explain some history, some stories, and such like that. Give me a just a charisma roll.
Just a straight charisma.
Yeah.
Oh, natural 20 plus
Oh.
3, 23.
Perfect. He will turn to you and go, as he's going into the history of this gap, you tell that he's quite excited by the past and what goes on in areas of conflict. You know, quite interesting things happen there. It's where people are made. It's where things happen. Seems that this particular area of geography, it actually interests him a little bit past what he's saying about we just need to get them some band-aids and some fresh water.
Yeah, so it goes past his like surface goal.
Correct.
What he's telling us. Yeah.
Correct. Cool. Other than that, anyone else?
I just want to keep an eye on Jurassico. I want to see if I can see a mark on him, just like throughout the trip.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Like that's throughout the time that we're traveling together.
Sure.
But yeah.
Give me a perception check.
That's a 17.
17. Day one, don't really catch anything. He is wearing clothes. Brands different from marks. Like, you know, if you've got a mark, it's like a birthmark kind of thing, which kind of makes you think about something you've seen recently. But he doesn't carry any. He's got a symbol on his cloak, but that could be given to anyone, kind of thing.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Who wants to roll?
Sorry, I will also talk to Ghost.
Sure. Go
while we're traveling, just possibly. I'll just
this will lead us into day 2.
Yeah, sure. So how was your time after the events in Vatharond? I didn't really catch up with you guys and check in.
Time after? I mean, the sort of week of waiting around.
Right. Nothing interesting.
Remember,
Not
Vargir
really.
went away into the mists.
That's right. I can't remember what we did. We do, guys.
You did a bit of shopping, bit of
That's
catching
right.
up with each other, stuff like that.
You and I fucked around in the workshop for a little bit.
That's right. No, I mean, other than working on a couple of projects and getting ourselves ready to leave, it was pretty quiet. Some of the shifters kind of hung around a little bit. There's a couple of nicer folk from the marketplace who were actively doing trade with them. It's good to see.
That's good. And town was safe in the end. No other small mishaps.
I mean, other than the general disagreements of people being people, nothing out of the ordinary. As far as I'm aware, that Zodor's still sitting in sheriff's dungeon, probably
Yeah,
pissing
I'm
himself still.
quite worried about that. I hope Sheriff can hold that down.
I don't think he's going to cause any trouble. Besides, it's up to the sheriff now to determine what he does with a man like that. Whether it be trial or indefinite, what's the word? Incarceration. Who knows? Not our problem now. Hey, speaking of that, your arm, is it all right?
Yeah, for now.
Vargir, can you roll me the d20 for day 2 as you guys are having this conversation?
Sure. 9.
Okay.
What I would like to DM, and as well as just on the side, is at the end of each day, when we're setting up camp and that sort of thing, where Ghost can find an hour of time. For the first hour, he'll pull out a bunch of like pieces of
of tools and that sort of thing, and various versions of his canisters. He's going to start breaking them down and carving little glyphs into them. And then sort of in like a magnetic moment, all of these glyphs glow and they start piecing themselves together with other pieces. So using his right tool for the job feature, I'm actually going to make myself a set of alchemist's tools.
Okay. Cool.
I don't have any.
Yep.
And where I can find an hour over the next several days of travel, I'm going to put some time into breaking down that soap that I stole from the hotel.
Okay.
And trying to extract the glycerin out of it.
Sure.
I have some plans.
Okay, cool. You can get to that tonight. As you guys are talking, you notice it start to pitter-patter with rain again. And as it does, you notice that, and a trigger warning for anyone living in Auckland, the water starts to rise a little bit on these flat grounds. As you see these dark clouds coming over the plains towards you.
It's a big on the open road again.
I'd say it's about halfway through the day as well. And the others of you will notice this as well.
What's our general pace now that we're traveling off road?
It's not fast, but you're making time. Eterno assured you after the first day.
Yeah, cool. I might ride Envy then if we can keep up. Got a movement speed of 40, but I'm assuming just in between little dashes and that sort of thing we can.
That's plenty fine.
Yeah, sweet.
How rough is the terrain?
At the moment, it's almost like dirt and not mud, but like clay. It's getting drier as you continue, but now that the rain's picking in, that's why it's setting so it's not going into the ground, it's kind of sitting on the surface, and you notice these dark clouds are coming in towards you.
Sure. Just as we're kind of going, I'll just turn to Molokop and Ghost and just yell out, "Hey, seems fine for now, but maybe keep an eye on the wheels of the carriages. If we don't want to waste any time, it might be good to keep those maintained."
Sure, I can work on something tonight that maybe will act as a replacement if something goes wrong.
That's good.
Depending on how wet it gets, I might be able to come up with something as well.
As you say this, the rain starts to get heavier.
Well, fuck me. Okay, I'll get right on it.
And these caravans are they like stagecoaches, or are we like uncovered
Yeah, stagecoaches, because they've got all the like the right along the prairie, kind of the white arch above it, all the cargo's on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, so it does have like a little cover.
Yeah, it's all canvas.
But you do notice that the rain is picking up now, and the clouds are nearly above you.
How well made would I judge these caravans to be?
Give me an investigation check.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. They're very solid made, but you notice that even as the rain starts to pick up now and a little bit of water is rising, you see the wheels kind of just slip every now and then. It's not like there's drop-offs anywhere. It's very flat, but it seems like they kind of just do a little, as the rain starts picking up even more. The clouds are basically above you now.
Can I scout out ahead a little bit, see if there's like some higher ground or like what's up ahead,
Sure.
to see like where we're headed to, or if there's a better way to go if it's pouring down and getting a bit sodden.
Do a bit of a run off. Give me a perception check.
16.
16. There is kind of like little mounds up ahead, and as you start approaching back, the rain is starting to pelted down now, and you can hear the thunder starting. It seems like the horses have almost come to a slow down to a standstill as they kind of battle against the rain, and everyone is now getting quite drenched. What I'm going to need from you is a skill challenge to try and get through the rest of this day in this heavy rain. So anyone can step in to do it.
Yeah.
Based on what I just
Go Puck.
based on what I just saw, can I use like, yeah, I guess it could be survival or maybe like an investigation, or like based on the clues of what I've seen of the land. Yeah, like a good place to either, if we're going to stop, a good place for us to stop, like a bit higher up on the ground that we can get to, or like, yeah, I guess skills challenge. Are we trying to? Is the skill challenge to keep going through this, or is the skill challenge like
that's
we're
up
going to
to
stop and? Okay, well,
You can make the call to
ask
stop the caravan.
yeah, I'm going to ask the caravan master then. I guess, like, are we continuing on?
Atuno will be trying to like cover. You can see him he's trying to cover up his maps and his notes and stuff like that, and he'll be like, these rains can get pretty bad. Sometimes I've seen flash floods come through. It's a hard call to make. If we stop, then we're going to slow our progress. But what do you think?
Well, if we're at risk of flooding, we're better off arriving late than never.
I agree. Is there somewhere you've seen?
That would be maybe my role.
For sure. Give me a survival.
Survival. It's a modified 20.
That is high enough. You rush off again and kind of come back to the caravan and be like, we need to divert, but we can get up onto some higher land. And they all kind of, do that slow turn that the caravans do. Everyone's kind of holding up over it, and that is one success. So as you start to see the waters start to like wish-wash over the ground, you get to a little bit higher ground. It's not a mountain. It's not even like a hill. It's just a mound that's high enough up that the caravans are secure. Anyone else?
Sorry, is that we're kind of stopping travel?
It looks
or
like
we're
we're
just
stopping.
traveling on. Ah, shit. Okay. I killed my plan.
What do you want to do?
I'll do it anyway because I think even if we are facing flash flooding, I'll take out basically all of the crossbow bolts I have, and detach the tips of them, these little spiked tips, my hempen rope, and some like ribbon wire, and I'm gonna, as we're like moving towards higher ground, start fashioning essentially barbed wire snow chains. So threading the tips through the rope and lashing them on with ribbon wire. Then as we get to a settled position, I'm going to wrap that around the wheels of the cart.
Okay.
So if we do get sudden flooding, at least the wheels might be able to bite in a little bit better. It'd be better climbing up hills and that sort of thing.
I'm going to ask for dexterity on that.
All right. Like a sleight of hand or straight dex?
I'm going to go straight dex.
That is cocked. That's going to be terrible, thank God. That's also not great. Oh no. That's a 9.
A 9. As you wrap these around and you're testing the strength of them, you almost give like a bit of a test of pushing it to try and see if it's secure, and one of the wagon wheels just comes off one of the caravans, and the caravan just slides to the side, goes to the side and starts sliding down this mound.
Ah, shit!
That is a failure.
Holding this very
Like,
spiky
It's just like sliding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might jump off, call for Molokov to help me just
Yeah.
like hold it.
Sure.
I will sort of jump down, and as I do, the cloak flicks back, and use the mechanical arm bracing up against it.
Yep.
Take my feet in the ground.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm just like shoulder up against it, pushing it.
All to see, and especially the people that are still in the caravan, they kind of like look out and they definitely notice. You feel their looks, Vargear, but also Molokov, you feel some looks as well, as they then take probably a couple of seconds too long, but they get out as well and start helping push up. So that's not a check, but they'll help stop it there. Anyone else?
I might, if we could possibly like try lift it to see if that ghost could reattach the wheel.
Yep. Yep. That'll be a strength check if you want that to be your skill.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Um,
Could I?
I was going to say, am I assisting him on that? If that's what he can I, or is this sort of a separate? He's rolling for us doing that.
You can roll with advantage.
Okay. I'll just roll twice. First one's a natural 20.
There you go.
22.
You both use all your might to lift up this caravan, and Ghost, you kind of run in quickly, fix your faux pas, and the caravan stays on top of the hill. All right, we only need one more success to get through this bad weather.
Unless anyone else has an idea, I've got an idea.
Shoot.
Go for it.
What are the animals? Do they look a little bit distressed of the weather, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I might just like then with my animal handling try like calm them down and get them kind of like refocused, kind of put their blinkers on again.
Yeah, sure. Give me animal handling.
That is a. It was cut, but it switched to a 6, so it's 7.
So it's a total of
7.
7. You kind of go up and try and calm these two horses down. You're not really worried about Obuck and Swiftscale, but unfortunately, the way you treat Obuck is not the way all animals like to be treated. And you kind of spook them a bit more, and they are distressed now. They're kind of rearing up. They're slamming their hooves down, and mud is splattering everywhere. They're getting quite panicked. A thunder claps, and they kind of almost jolt away.
Yeeks. Okay.
Shit.
Are we trying to stop?
Wait,
Like
you
the
have stopped on
caravan?
top of this mound?
Yeah, but we're trying to get to a certain place to stop.
No, this is where you've stopped.
So we've made it to Puck's chosen.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look down the mound, and the water is probably a foot and a half deep now.
Do we want to keep traveling, or do we want to wait for the?
I think the idea was to wait.
Okay.
So
then, if the horses, sorry, go on.
I assume we still have to pass one more check to be safe.
Yep.
What I am going to try to do, and I don't know what skill check it'll be yet, but essentially, I think he sort of unclips the pack, sort of digs it into the ground, and starts pulling out different bits of scrap. You know, like tubing, even just anything that has like almost like a gutter shape to it. And what he's trying to do is almost make like a perimeter around, like, you know, by digging up the ground and putting in the scrap and almost making these like flood like water diversion points, I guess.
Okay.
Somewhere for built up water to flow. And I'm thinking, I don't know if that's like a tools check, because he does have Smith's tools, or if you want to make it maybe a nature check for like where he needs to put things. I don't know what you think the.
Sure, I think you're capable of building them. It's where to put them would be the check, so we're going to go nature.
Nature, sweet. 13 plus 3, 16.
16. Takes a bit of testing and failing, but you do eventually find the spots where it is, and it starts running off quite successfully. So that is your final check passed. As you stand atop the hill, and it stays for a couple of hours, this rain, but you're safe on top of there. Everyone is sheltered as much as they can. The animals eventually calm down, and then the rain passes, and you, excuse me, see the water kind of seep into the cracked ground, and it almost becomes quite dry, quite quick again. You hear a couple of birds off in the distance, and these little tiny trees that pop up sporadically, and there's a sense of freshness to the plains again. But you make Dr. Akshuna makes the call that it's better to stay here for the night. agrees with Puck. You've lost a day, but it is worth getting there in one piece. So he employs you to set up a watch again, and everyone kind of camps down for the night, shaking off the wet day. Puck, what you notice tonight is, again, no sort of mark or anything, but it seems that the doctor stays up most of the night. I'm not sure how much you sleep, but he seems to be reading over a book, writing out a letter of sorts. It doesn't seem to be settling down for the night at all, and doesn't seem to be getting tired. No yawns or anything like that.
Is he an elf?
He is.
Okay. Okay.
Day 3. Who would like to roll?
I think that's you, Jed.
Ah, all right. This dice is
Which is
doing
fine.
very well today. That's just a straight roll is a 9.
A 9. You 9? Yeah. You pack up your stuff and you start carrying on further towards Kenran. Today is an interesting day as you start to get further and further away from any vegetation, as the ground starts to become a bit more beige, a bit more sandy, a bit more rocky, and you start to notice that it starts to get a little less flat and a bit more kind of like little levels prod in and out. As you're traveling along, can someone give me a perception check? I'm going to say Hera. Hera, can you give me a perception check?
Ooh. Perception. That's going to be a 12.
12. As you kind of people are getting off their mounts and out of the caravan as well to kind of help them down these little dips, like, you know, it'll be flat plane and then there'll be just like a quite a steep thing that only lasts like a meter and then it continues flat again. Like, it seems that this ground is a bit uneven, and as you're kind of helping the caravan down one of these ones, there's a couple of boulders spread around, and you swear you hear something, and it sounds like a voice, and it goes, "Help!"
Hello.
Help!
Did the excuse me, nurse. Excuse me, nurse.
One of the nurses
Did
turns
you
to
hear-
you.
Did you hear somebody needing help?
She kind of stops and listens, and you hear it again. Help! Help! It seems to be coming from a boulder kind of behind the caravans.
Suppose I'll get the nurse to come with me and go and have a look.
Go and have a look. Kind of,
Somebody good from the party, and as we're like walking, I'm like counting.
everyone's there. Everyone's kind of like head down, and, you know, like Varga might be on Obak, like with a rope, giving a bit of a tug to these caravans. It's very dry in this area, but it's the levels that are proving difficult to the caravans. But the nurse goes, sure. She grabs like a little first aid kit and comes with you.
As we're sort of getting closer to the boulder, I'll probably think about it for a second and turn, and I'm gonna just grab my earring and I'm gonna message Molokov and just be like, "Hey, I think someone's hurt over here. Maybe come have a look."
You turn around, you see Hera's already walking off from the caravan to this boulder.
Pick up my shield and jump off the caravan. And yeah, I'll start making my way.
Yeah. As you're heading towards it, Hera, you approach the boulder. Are you waiting for Molokov, or are you going to have a look? Yeah. You
probably
hear
not
from
gonna,
behind
like,
the boulder.
go right up to the boulder and go around, but probably like from like a few meters out, we'll probably start sort of, now that I'm a bit closer, be
Sure.
like thinking like if someone's hurt, how did they get hurt? What like could have happened here? What's actually starting to?
Yeah, as you kind of like round, you get a whiff of it almost smells like rotting flesh, and it hits you quite strong. And the nurse goes, "Oh!" Like she kind of holds back a little chuck up, and the smell is quite horrible. And you hear it again: "Help! Help! Help!"
Is it the same voice?
It is, but it's coming from behind the rock. You're going to have to look round if you want to see what it is.
I'll probably just sort of double take over my shoulder, see how far away Molotov is.
It's about 30,
Yes,
30 feet away.
We're here to help.
Is
But
everything okay?
You have to help us. Come out here.
Help! Help! Molotov, you've caught up with Hero now.
What is it?
Still very nice.
What are you talking to?
Molotov, you can hear this now.
I was gonna say, yeah. Okay, cool.
Sounds like someone is in trouble, but it smells like someone's been in trouble for a long time.
Yeah. Help!
Okay.
I'm gonna sort of put my arm on here, and I'll go first. I'm gonna very tentatively make my way around the rock, probably giving myself about 5-10 feet away from it.
Yep.
And
give me
make my way
a
around.
stealth check, please.
Ooh. I'm gonna use a different dice because that one's different. I don't think I'm. Oh no, sorry, it's disadvantage as well because I am. Yep. Okay, that's not great. A 7.
That's it. As you round the corner, you get this weird smell as well, and you round the corner to see crouching behind the rock. You see a almost dog-like figure. It's got, I think the description, it's got the legs of a deer and the face of a hyena. As you see it like open its mouth and go, "Help!" as it reenacts the sound of someone in distress before it catches you and grins. I need everyone to roll initiative. As you see this.
That's horrifying.
I'm like 3 of us are completely unaware.
Classic.
Oh my god, that's
that's
fucking
disgusting.
atrocious.
Isn't that just Obak?
Obek is beautiful.
So is that beast?
Oh my god.
Oh, we're all the way over there. Savage.
So if I bring...
Just the wizard. Fuck off.
Are those vultures there?
no, that's just flavor of the map.
Yep.
Horrifying creature.
Look like meat's back on the
I was even thinking as I approached, I should probably cast mage armor, and I was like, nah, gonna be a trap.
Okay, so initiative, Hera.
That's 7.
Moloko?
That's 7.
Goes?
21.
Huck, are you gonna win it?
21.
Oh,
with with my dex is +5.
And Vargia?
You're right. Yeah.
10.
10.
Everyone goes before us.
Yeah,
You,
good. They just keep walking forward.
Okay, love it. So, Puck, you are up first as you kind of look over and you see Molokov looking behind this thing and kind of like taking a step back. What would you like to do?
Well, I imagine I've been on Swift Scale, like I'm riding.
Yep, you can
Swift
be on
Scale.
him. Yep.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong tool. Here we go. So I'm going to ride Swifty. He's got a movement of 40 feet. Sorry, extras. Yeah, 40 feet. So he's going to move, down to there. Now, these guys aren't within, my allies aren't within 5 feet, are they? Of it?
They're not, no.
All right. I would like to hold my action. Get my crossbow ready. I'm going to hold my action to take a shot when it moves within 5 feet of an ally.
Cool. You can hold that action. Ghost, you're up.
Oh, I might no, I'll stay on switch scale.
Sure.
But yeah, that's me.
And you round the corner, you see this thing snarling at Molokov. It's no longer trying to imitate the voice anymore. It's ready to bite. Ghost, you're up.
Yes, indeed. That tool, thank you. Far away am I? Okay. I can see this.
You can see Molokov is backing away from something, and yeah, it's starting to appear away from the boulder.
Yes. So that was sorry. That was a yes. I can see that there's a thing there, and they're
Yes.
backing away from it. Cool. I need the other tool. I will move in front of where the caravan is.
Yours.
About here. And I'll be like, "Oh no, you guys better stay back." And
The
I'll
nurses
load,
start to react to like, what's going on? What's going on?
I'll load a capsule into the crossbow and fire it over the heads of my allies, and a bright, like violet red burst will explode behind the creature. I'm casting Fairy Fire.
Nice. You guys see the creature get illuminated in very
It's a big save on his end.
Of course. That is a 5 total.
That is a failure. It is under the effects of Fairy Fire.
Love it. Vargear.
Yeah, I just had a question first. In my travels, have I came across anything that looks like this, or even like some strange voices that like appear out of places? we
Sure.
don't expect
Give
them?
me a nature check.
A nature check. I can definitely do that. 15.
15. You look at this creature and quickly discern that it is a Leucrota. Leucrotta. They are desert creatures that wander around, and because of their hideous smell, it's very hard for them to catch their prey. And so what they do is they can imitate voices that they have heard in the past,
Right.
or voices or sounds.
Yeah, and I'm imagining when I came across one of these, I probably ran.
Either ran, or if you were with a tribe, you probably would have taken it on. But these can be quite dangerous for solo travelers. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, sure. I then will just yell out with a warning to be very vigilant. And I will go. So I'm on Obak.
Correct.
So I will go 30 feet. So just past my little vulture, like there. Yeah. How far away am I? Okay, I am. Yeah. Okay. I probably will then. I'm probably just gonna dash another like. I'll probably just get just behind Molokov here.
Okay.
And I'll end my turn.
Cool. Molokov, you feel Obak coming up behind you as you prepare. Either you or Hero can go first. Your choice.
Should I go?
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Either other.
All right. Yeah, I think seeing it immediately, shield went up. Seeing the canister fly over, not like going, "Thank fuck, my friends are actually watching." And hearing the thunder behind me, I'm gonna just feel a bit more confident, charge in, and go for a punch in the face.
All right, go for it.
Fairy Fire is always awesome.
It is.
That is only still though a 13 to hit.
How do I read a stat block again? A 13 does not hit.
No.
It kind of like moves out of the way and kind of groans and grunts at you as you think that although this thing's big, it's quite nimble.
Cool. Now, actually, no, I don't think he wants to do that anyway. I think, he takes a defensive stance and holds his ground. That'll be probably all I do.
All right. As it kind of swings out of the way of your arm, It comes back in and goes for a bite attack.
Sorry,
Ooh,
Reese,
I was gonna say also-
my
Yes.
held action.
Go for it.
So as he attacks, as Molokov attacks, an arrow is going to zip past.
That's with advantage because of
an-
Fairy Fire.
Oh yeah.
Is indeed. Oh yeah, you get
Uh,
advantage on your attacks, so you don't need your allies to be there now. So as long as
Yeah,
long as
yeah, yeah. That's a 9. Sorry, a modified 20 to hit now.
Yep, that will make connection.
Cool, and that is with my sneak attack bonus. That is 12 plus 9 is 21 points of piercing.
Oh, solid hit. So even though it jumps out of the way of this arm, this arrow just goes straight into its neck, and it kind of rears
And
back.
so is this what he's doing as a reaction?
Yeah.
As the creature?
No, not yet.
Okay, I will just have one more thing before I.
Yeah, go for it.
I think he just sort of cranks something on the back of on the shield, and these weird arcane runes just start sparking out, and almost this powder seems to go spread across like different almost weak points in the armor, and I'm just giving myself a few temporary hit points.
Love
with
it.
one of my armor feet.
Love watching Hera be like, "Run away!" Measuring out how far away from this thing can I get?
As these glyphs start surrounding you, you see the massive maw of this thing. It opens up and it's like got drooling of the stench, and it comes and tries to bite you. So that will be.
Does Hera get a turn?
Oh, she sure does. Go Hera. I'm getting too
Oh, I
excited.
thought it was reacting to something.
No.
No, that's cool. I'm going to, as Puck promptly said, run away. I'm going to, skadoot up over to here by this rock. And I will. I will just sort of kneel down and pull some, like a handful of little dead bugs out of my bag and grab a handful of sand, and I'm gonna sort of toss the sand out towards the beast and slap the bugs into it, as they sort of almost reanimate and come to life. And I'm gonna cast an ray of sickness on.
Nice.
So, Fairy Fire's advantage.
Correct for an attack roll. Yep.
That's gonna be 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits.
And that's gonna be at the second level. So
Any attack roll against you.
it's gonna be 13 across damage.
Very nice.
Oh, sorry, poison damage.
Cool. As this ray hits it, it kind of rears back, and now it'll take its turn if that's you done.
Yeah, that's all I got.
And will attempt to bite you, Molokov, at an 18 to hit. That'll hit. So that is
Just hits, annoyingly.
how do I use dice? Here we go. That is 8 plus, so 12 points of piercing damage.
Oh.
As it bites in, you feel this tooth go into you, and you can feel the saliva kind of like just drooping out of your arm as it pulls back, and then it kind of almost turns on its front two legs, and you see a hoof coming in your direction.
Oh no.
How much damage was the first attack? 12.
12. But I did just give myself some temp HP.
That is a 17 to hit.
Unfortunately, yeah, my armor class is 17.
RIP.
Oh,
Shield.
6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
As you get kind of winded by this thing, and as it hits you with its hoof, it's going to take the disengage action with a completed hoof kick and circle round up to Puck.
I'm going to take a reaction for that.
Yeah? What's your reaction?
as the creature bites into his shoulder, Varga instinctually suddenly kind of goes into this like palladic form,
Yep.
and his eyes roll back again. They start to glow green. As I need the creature to roll a Wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, I like this. That's a natural one.
Okay, so it will fail. So as it bit him on the shoulder, on the creature, these like kind of like radiant looking bite marks also like go into the creature, as the creature will take the exact same damage that he dealt on that bite. As I cast Rebuke the Violent, it's my channel divinity.
I love that.
That was so cool.
You see it get freaked out by this, and that's almost what causes it to turn around and kick him with the hook and run up around Puck. But that brings us to the top of the round. Puck, you are up. Muted.
Sorry, yeah, did that end its turn?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool, sweet. Well, I will. With the other hand, I'm going to draw my rapier, and I'm going to take a swing at it.
Go for it.
With advantage.
Correct, yes.
Because of Fairy Fire.
Mm-hmm.
The best one of those two is a... Sorry, find the rapier. Rapier. It's silvered, if that matters, but that's a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then 1d8 plus 2d6 for sneak attack. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 15 points of piercing.
Nice. As it kind of rounds you, you see this bite mark that it's almost inflicted on itself there, and you just find your rapier form and just slide it in, and it goes through its neck as it kind of boom comes round and falls down dead. As you complete this creature that threatened the caravan.
Oh, thank fuck for that. Immediately slumped out.
Yeah.
And
The nurse will run over to you and go, oh, is everything okay? What?
nothing I haven't dealt with before. And if you've
Is that
got anything to help, though,
Is that your temp HP gone?
100%.
How much
I
damage did
took
you take?
about 21.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
So
I'll probably
yeah.
I'll probably run over and just like touch the wound and like kind of suck out all the like saliva, that bacterial saliva, and I'll just give you a lay on hands.
Oh, that's gross.
So I'll but I cast lay on hands as I start to kind of like.
Is that a 10? You
Yeah,
said?
10 hit points.
Thank you, Varga. Take a second. I'll slump back against a rock or something.
Yep. You will see Artuno will come over and go, is everyone okay?
We're fine.
Thank you for that's
As I look to Molokov and I go, nothing we haven't dealt with before.
it's
like
great to see you unfazed. You give me a insight check, Varga.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah. 19.
19. You see he is very, like, not proud, but like he's very impressed seeing this firsthand. And you see a little bit of excitement in his eyes, like, yeah, like he's chosen the right people, kind of thing. Thank you. Is everyone else right? He starts checking on the nurses and stuff, and they're a bit shaken, but they seem to be okay. If anyone else wants to do something straight after the combat, otherwise the rest of the day you carry on pulling these caravans down these kind of slopes as the ground starts to get a bit drier and rougher, and the third night approaches. Can I get a roll for the next day, please? Also, Puck this night again seems to stay awake. You don't notice any logos or marks on him. if anything, you do catch, like, not watching him change, but, like, as he takes off a robe, as he's setting up for his camp and stuff, his skin is actually, there are no marks, there are no scars, there are no anything.
Yeah, okay. Does it seem like he's staying up? I mean, maybe this is a thing like I'll check in other nights, but like, does it seem like he's staying up more than, like, I know elves have a trance, so they only need to sleep half a night. Does it seem more than that? Like, I've probably changed which time I do a watch kind of thing to see, like, okay, he was up when I went to bed, and I've been asleep for, like, 4 hours,
Yep.
and now I'm up again, like, at different times of the night to be like, does he sleep?
If you
That kind of
change your watches on this third night, it seems that no, he doesn't.
Very interesting. Okay.
But can I get a roll for the fourth day, please?
Is that you, Gaslo?
Gazzo? Oh, yeah, not sleeping.
I believe it's Ghost now.
10.
10. This day passes without any issue, but it is getting very dry, and you're using up quite a lot of the water. What you do notice is that rock formations are starting to appear. They're only maybe a couple of feet tall at the moment, but it's almost like if you think of the start of a forest, how often trees are around, these rocks are kind of, what are they called? Stalactites or mites, whichever ones. Stalagmites go up, and they're starting to form. You can get the caravans around them at the moment, but they are starting to crop up a bit more often. But the fifth night comes with the everyone kind of camping down. You feel almost a little bit more secure now that these are around you. You're not out on the open anymore. Would anyone like to do any interactions on that near to the last day?
I think I'm just going to change one of my prepared spells, but that would be it.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I would have done the same. But I
And
think
is there
also
anything anyone notices you doing? Anything, any feelings or anything that are happening?
I think one of the nights Molokov definitely asks Ghost if he can just take his watch alongside Envy, and for a lot of the watch ends up not taking watch and just is almost studying Envy and just letting Envy do like the rounds and like I don't know how he's like sniffing the air or like doing whatever the fuck he does, and just he's probably sitting there taking notes and just marveling at this thing that you've created.
You'll notice it very much behaves like a programmed automaton. Like it is quite mechanical in movement and that sort of robotic, not like steampunk, like jarring and a whole bunch of mechanical whirs, but very much doesn't sniff the air, is definitely using ocular reception, like is looking for things and scanning. And when left with you, doesn't take much instruction other than I've said you can instruct. I've given you the permission. Will follow your guide, but also just kind of makes its own decisions. Like we'll scan out in one area, and this very mathematical, like look to this area, we'll scan, look to another area. It does proper like full perimeter.
Yeah, like grid, like yeah.
Yeah. Like
very methodical, very
like in games where you can see like an NPC's vision, it goes to one area and does its little scan movement. You can like trace around it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Molokov definitely spends like one of his watches of an evening doing that. He's blown away by this thing, and definitely wants to know everything about it that he can.
I mean,
that's all.
I have. If you're really curious, I have notes. I'll be honest. Half of them aren't mine.
It's all right. If you think I made this all on my own, you're dreaming. Maybe while we're not on the road, I would love to.
Fair call. I'll still be working on extracting that glycerin DM for
for
Sure,
an hour where I
sure.
can.
Um, you're working along for that, and as you kind of approach the final days, as you kind of made up some time and taken time away to stop the floods and stuff like that, the destination is a bit unclear at the moment. But as you awake on this day, especially you feel the comfort of these rock pillars around you, but also the fact that you can't see quite far out now. You start to be a little bit more aware. You notice the crow screech from the top of one of them as they get taller and taller. And Dr. Artuno will, as the sun starts to rise, kind of clock that you're not watching him, but like he looks over and goes, gives you a nod and, Pup, why don't you ride with me today?
Sounds good to me. Just briefly, overnight, I probably had a conversation with Hera, and I have swapped my whispers from the Whispers of the Dead. I swapped that from giving me proficiency in athletics to proficiency in survival.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very well. Are we at the front?
Yes. And you see he's kind of a little bit looking over his shoulder. You kind of something seems up. He'll kind of pull you aside, and I am aware of the time as well. You asked, or I made the mistake of thinking you were someone else back in Vatherond.
Yes.
I almost called you Laurie.
You know Laurie?
I did, yes. He's I haven't seen him in a little bit of time, but he got brought in to what we like to call the inner circle.
The inner circle of the house?
Of the House Jorosco, yes. You see him kind of like looking around, and he's kind of like, you and him have walked ahead a little bit of the crew now. The caravans are trying to like squeeze through these rock pillars. You're kind of like trying to navigate them quite tightly, but everyone can still see each other in line. And he goes, yes. Laurie came on a month or so ago, and we entrusted him as he was quite skilled, as I'm sure you know. I was not expecting to see his brother turn up some weeks later.
I've been on his trail for a little while. He's a hard man to catch.
Yes, well, his skills in that area prove quite useful for us, and I enjoyed his company. I assure you that he is well, and hopefully when we get back we can make some connections happen.
Yes, I haven't really heard from him, and that makes me nervous.
That may have been our fault. He is under instruction to keep a low profile. He kind of gives a sigh, and you feel the wind kind of blow through these rock pillars a little bit, and he takes like a couple of steps forward with you, and he goes, look, this is a breach of our protocol, but damn it, no, you need to know. You lot shouldn't have come out here with us until you guys were brought into the inner circle as well. Jorosco isn't what it pretends to be, and we were really sent out here to... And you see him kind of get winded, and his eyes almost flicker green before he disintegrates. And before we roll initiative, we're going to end the session there.
What?
Dale's frozen.
Okay.
Disbelief. Oh, no, there we go. Holy.